I'm here to welcome you to our next panel discussion with the team at Autodesk. In these challenging times, we've seen the importance of digital software and the way that digital design can be done and the way it's enhanced, especially when those studios were closed due to lockdown and clay became, or building the prototypes became near impossible. It really elevated the digital design process. And more importantly, of conversations we've had at Car Design News with the design leaders, it helped speed up the decision-making process as multiple iterations could be done and shown to the design team and also to senior management. Now, we're very lucky today to have two of the guys from Autodesk to talk about a series of solutions they have with Alias, with VRED and Shotgun, but more importantly, how they're all interconnected, which makes them a lot more agile and seamless when it comes to end execution. So I'm going to hand you over to Ananda and Phil from the Autodesk team, and they're going to bring a whole series of their other design guys who are going to actually run through the packages. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ananda Arasu, Industry Marketing Manager for Automotive here at Autodesk.
And I'm Phil Botley. I'm Product Manager for Automotive and Conceptual Design. Welcome to this panel session on the Agile Design Studio and remote collaboration.
We'd like to start this session showcasing how Autodesk is working with partners and customers, bringing technology that is helping them to innovate, as well as using technology to be more effective. First up is a teaser video on how virtual reality hardware partner Vario and Autodesk teamed up with Kia to bring new mixed reality technology to the design studio. This is followed by a video from our friends at Nissan, who are showing how using Autodesk technology is helping them to do more with the resources that they have, building the design studio of the future. Enjoy the videos.
The benefits of the digital help and the vision of Autodesk, it's allowed us to do more with the same amount of people. As a company that has nearly 60 different cars, and we need to be able to work on many of those. With Autodesk as a strategic partner, we don't have to make as many models. At my desk, I can access 60 cars and I can walk and see each one. And this kind of ability to see what is invisible is really a huge savings of time. I don't have to wait a month before I experience a design in reality. And these are the things that Autodesk has brought to us as a strategic partner is I literally can see a car in a day that didn't exist yesterday. It's really changed the way we live. Our form of communication is designing. And the more we make our designs real, is the more I understand the dreams and the ambition of all of my design team. So I look at this as a kind of connect to creative spirit in the. When we started electrifying Infinity, show car that is called Q Inspiration was the first car actually that we started thinking about what is this new language of Infinity. And it lived its whole life in digital actually. And with VR and especially to get inside and to experience the benefits of the electrified platform was really key in the development of that program and the coming months as well. We're very pleased. We have a long relationship with Autodesk, and of course, on the one side, we're buying product, which we use without much consideration because it's benchmark, so we use it and deploy all over the world. But the other part that's growing is this collaborative sense that I've had a few meetings even this month where Autodesk is taking an interest on what is my day like. What are the things that can be done with technology to, again, make the invisible visible for me? Because I do think in the new world, things get tailored for individuals and individual company or individual executives. And this kind of collaboration and the curiosity that Autodesk has about how I work in my 14, 15 hour a day life is much appreciated, and I think it's going to create innovation and actually create improvements in our process. No longer is a separation between my life as a Nissan employee and a collaboration with Autodesk.
We hope you enjoyed those videos. In this next session, we tackle the topic of remote collaboration. With the COVID-19 pandemic still upon us, let's look at how Autodesk technology is helping our customers with collaboration in this age of remote working.
There are three of us on this call today. As I said, myself, Botley, Product Manager for Alias, Brandon Tasker, based in Toronto, Shotgun Product Manager, and Lucas, the VRED Product Manager, based in Germany. And without further ado, I'll hand over to Brandon, who will take us on a Shotgun journey. Over to you, Brandon.
All right. Thanks for the introduction, Phil. That was great. So Phil showed a quick slide on this, but to go in a bit deeper, what is Shotgun actually? So it is a project management, production management tool that helps integrate all of these three things. So it gives you the aspect of production management, creative collaboration, and then integration with all of your workflows on a daily basis. So what that looks like from a more hands-on perspective, production management. It's about tracking the projects, the status, all the work that's being done. Creative collaboration is about capturing reviews, all the feedback that's being put into those reviews and creating it and keeping it inside of Shotgun in a single source of truth. So you always know when decisions were made, what notes I need to address next, and everything has a nice, clean history. And finally, what I think is most important is making all of those first two things happen automatically by directly connecting to the products you use every day. So I'll talk a little bit about all of the more integrated products we have with Shotgun, but being able to work on files, have them directly associated with a task that you're working on, with a project that you're working towards, and a schedule and a deadline is really key to allowing design teams, creative departments to focus on what's important, which is creating the final design and making it the best as possible instead of updating spreadsheets and filling out charts to make sure things are on track. So that's it for me. Hopefully that was informative, and now I'm going to hand it over to Lucas.
Okay, yeah, hello everybody. As Phil already introduced me, my name is Lucas. I'm VRED product manager, and today we're going to talk about the collaboration aspects, or some of the collaboration aspects of VRED. VRED streaming, also newly integrated in 2021. Is VRED streaming, so we're basically streaming whatever is in the VRED viewport to a web browser. Works on any device, obviously, and this is the big difference, right? With streaming, the images are rendered, or the scene is rendered somewhere on a server, and then it's just streamed to the end device, whereas VRED Go has to run on the end device, so you need to have the performance. Yeah, as you already see, I think it's self-explaining, right? So you can have full control via tablet in this case. We have two ways to use it. You can either use a pure stream and integrate that maybe in your own system. You could use it as a driver or an engine for configurator type applications. But we also deliver a out-of-the-box streaming app, which has, from our point of view, the basic controls. So you can change variants automatically and render modes, render quality. So we provide an app out of the box that has a certain set of functionality that you can use. Yeah, and as I said, easy to integrate and easy to use, obviously. The cool thing here is you might have seen that in the video when we just passed the spot where you can also join. I'm going to talk about that on the next slide. A collaboration session via mobile now. So via a mobile device that gets a stream from a, I don't know, server or a workstation somewhere, you can join a collaboration session, and some people are in VR, but yeah, we're going to talk about that on the next slide. So yeah, I think this is a great thing. Again, if you didn't have the chance to check it out yet, I would encourage you to do so. VRED Go as well as VRED streaming are new, very exciting things that we added to VRED. As you can see here, you can even stream VRED inside VRED, which is, I don't know, kind of Inception-like. And in this case, you see there's a person in virtual reality and a mobile user joining from a spectator point of view. But yeah, I think the big topic today is remote collaboration, and that's why I wanted to point something out before we go into that topic. A lot of people, a lot of VRED users, maybe on the call, know what VRED VR collaboration is, because we communicate it in that way, right? This is called VRED VR collaboration, but actually it's not. It's VRED collaboration. So we have a collaboration service in VRED that allows you to collaborate whatever device you're using. And I think that's something that I want to make sure that everybody understands today, that it's not just about VR collaboration. So you can connect locally or remotely, use a mixed set of output devices, as I already said, and I'm going to give some examples here. Those can be adapted to the persona. So again, the stakeholder collaboration that we were talking about, maybe a mobile device is more appropriate for a decision maker to join a call. Somebody else rather wants to be in virtual reality in that call. Yeah, and we have a inbuilt 3D audio communication service as well. So you hear from which direction somebody's talking, and you can just easily communicate via voice. Cool. With that being said, that's it for me. So back over to Phil again.
Running a little bit out of time, so I'll just skip through the Alias part very quickly, and I really want to touch on two key themes before we get to some Q&A. One is all our products, which is a cloud approach to sharing data. We call it shared views, and it allows us to basically export a file, save a file up to the cloud, collaborate remotely or with teams together on it, mark it up, look at it on a I don't want to see myself there, on a browser, as we shared before, but also do all sorts of annotations and share ideas and share models. What we can also do is we can also have we also have something called Autodesk Drive, which is a far more database-driven approach, where we can actually upload, share, reference the data, actually open the data in the app, actually have a central model that everyone can load up to or save up to. In the latest version of VRED, the VRED assemblies that were mentioned, they're supported in the drive structure as well. So we can really have this collaborative working remotely with a VRED assembly session in the cloud, populated, driven by Autodesk Drive, and shared views moving forward. And it's all synchronized, so it's all in real time. For those of you who maybe want more information, we have a series of deep dives. I've skipped through Reference Manager for Alias, which allows us to look at the assembly concept, how we can work together remotely, cross-geo, cross-departments inside of Alias. Barry goes through a very, very good tutorial on this. I'm sure you have to set up and work on this. You can access it from the YouTube site or from our design blog website. The link is down there. And it really just, sort of behoves me to end saying this is really what we're about from an Agile Design Studio perspective. Alias, VRED, Shotgun, working together, whether it be on-premise or on cloud or collaboratively. And one of the things that I've been involved in for the past 3 months in this working from home initiative, really and impressed with, is how quickly our media and entertainment customers moved from an on-premise working environment to a virtual environment working from home via and using Shotgun. It was, as Brandon said, it just allowed the connections to remain consistent and intact. And they just switched overnight from working in the studio to working at home. And it was really impressive and got me thinking. You add a layer of what Lucas said from streaming and VRED Go on top of that, and you have a really neat suite of tools which allow you to stay productive, perhaps even more productive, working from home as opposed to working in an office.
Okay, let's now look at how our sub-D tools are helping speed up decision-making and collaboration. Let's hear from our own Barry Kimball, one of our tech PMs, and then from Mike Check from Linkage, one of our VARs, on how these tools can really help streamline processes and make customers more efficient.
Design is all about choices. How many choices can I have? I don't know what I want sometimes until I see it. So with some new innovative technology, we can iterate and show management 10 designs in the same time frame it might have taken before to do only 5 designs.
That's what I like about sub-Ds. A designer now can start to use sub-Ds to fulfill their concept. They can do their sketch, they can go into sub-Ds, they can use that as a communication tool to hand off to the digital sculptor. It's a new hybrid. The hybrid before was digital and clay. Now the hybrid is sub-Ds, polys, NURBS.
With our addition of subdivision modeling, with the speed at which they can develop these concepts, designers are becoming more accepting to modifying a model because they're so easy to modify. With traditional surfacing methods, it might take 2 to 3 days to make a requested change. With the technology enhancements like subdivision modeling, we can do those changes in hours.
That is a huge deal that I think Autodesk has done a really good job on with the latest version of software. So now the biggest constraint is communication. Waiting for somebody to come for a formal design review to take a look at it. VR has helped us accelerate that viewing process significantly. I see a lot of our customers, they're not even putting in surface plates and mills to create physical properties. They're using VR to do daily design reviews. The next steps is to put 2 people in an immersive session at the same time in the same location. We can do that now with VRED, or somebody who's remote, somebody who can't fly or doesn't want to fly, whatever's going on these days in the world. The remote design reviews are really important.
Companies went from really wanting to have clay models to having management okay with looking at these things electronically. Management can ask for a change in the evening, come in the morning, and it's already finished. That really is a big deal.
Earlier in the year, myself and 2 of my colleagues, Lucas from VRED and Brandon from Shotgun, hosted a webinar on the benefits of using a single unified pipeline for design. Using Alias, VRED and Shotgun, we showed how the tools could speed up communication and collaboration in these difficult times, as well as allowing automation of procedural tasks and really speeding up the process, thereby freeing up more time to spend on design and creativity. let's look back at some of those highlights now.
As we mentioned, this is a very relatively short presentation, 45 minutes. So we'll just give you a flavor of how these tools can be used in maybe 6 or 7 parts of the automotive design process. But of course, if you want more information, then feel free to contact us, and we can give you more details on there. First of all, I'll just talk about some of the challenges that we're all facing as companies and beginning to overcome in these strange times. I read an article yesterday that essentially said we've collapsed 2 years of digital transformation into about 2 or 3 months, and we're beginning to see the benefits of this, or the advantages of this, with customers. I know the 3 of us are really super busy at the moment, hosting events like this with customers and showing them how to move to a digital process, to move from clay to virtual and other components, but also how to collaborate globally. We've been assisting running design sessions between Korea, Germany, and America, using our tools to really make those decisions a lot faster and be better informed, but also connecting the processes. And this is the rationale, the logic behind this, between this backbone, right? So we can begin to plug in different tools, different processes, and have that seamless flow of design and process. And when we talk about a modeling backbone, what do we, it's a very esoteric thing. What do we mean? Well, normally, and this is a generic approach, you might have silos of changes where the geometries jumped over walls and passed from one to the other. And what we're really looking to do is looking to parallelize aspects of this process, critically allow us to reuse data from a modeling perspective, to bring engineering earlier into the process so we can make those decisions. We can begin to get our geometry released to engineering further into production and manufacture, but also begin to give us some quite significant time savings by reusing that Alias data, by allowing us to remodel quickly or replace, and we'll see some of those examples later on. This really allows us to have this kind of single modeling pipeline on top of a VRED virtual twin experience, where we can take the data and we can use it all the way through to production and engineering. And also from a Shotgun perspective, we can have creative pipeline management, so we can actually ensure that we're always working on the right data set. We always have the right visualization. We always have the right animation, and we can really begin to automate these parts and components. The 3 tools that we're going to look at today, which really constitute this approach, are of course Alias and VRED and Shotgun, but that's not the whole story. All right, around the outside we have our sister products like Maya or Dynamo or Power Mill for milling the clay that we can use, and we also have a small sample of our extended ecosystem where we're partnering with Ansys, Unity, and NVIDIA to begin to bake these products into our tools, into our pipeline, so we can really have that seamless data flow between these products and actually work to get the designs out and faster than before. I said before, we're going to look at Alias, VRED, and Shotgun, and I'm obviously the Alias PM, so I'll talk a little bit about this very quickly, but I want to give a lot of the show to Lucas and to Brandon. Obviously, Alias is the concept of a single modeling pipeline from concept to Class A. And the objective really is to allow us to maintain and control design intent beyond engineering. So we can put our arms around design, right? We can take it right the way through. We can shepherd it through, CAS, theme, Class A engineering. So we can ensure that we can get these really cool looking vehicles out, and they can survive intact once they enter into engineering. And over that, I'll hand over to Lucas to talk about VRED.
Welcome, everybody. Just a quick intro for VRED for those who don't know. If you want to summarize what it is, as Phil also already did, like in the process, it's a 3D visualization experience and decision-making platform. What it actually allows you to do is to quickly transform extensive amounts of digital design or engineering data into high-fidelity images, animations, real-time presentations that can be consumed on different devices or output devices like offline renderings, also in reality, on desktop or full-scale presentation environments. And VRED serves as the platform to gather all the information and supports the process, the actual creation process, as Phil showed a slide ago or 2 slides ago. And 2 aspects that I wanted to highlight for VRED here is, one is that gathering, preparing, and managing of the data is something that VRED is very powerful at, and keeping visualization stream of data in sync with the creation stream, but also allowing you to flexibly choose on how to use and how to, I don't know, review or showcase the data that you gathered and produced here. One aspect that I want to point out that you can see on that slide is the master model concept. So VRED is not about creating different files for different use cases, it's the other way around. Our customers usually create this one big file where they add all the data that's created throughout the process, and it's not, it is mainly or a lot Alias data, but also other files, and not even only geometry, but also HMI files like interactive display types. In general, VRED is used for, or you would use that master model for a design review. This is a very generic term, so it's depending on which stage you are in the process, what aspects you want to review. Could be rather lightweight data or a 150% model that you're reviewing. But this is more or less the core functionality for VRED. But as you can see with the Porsche example, which is from a webinar, from a presentation they gave at AU 2018, they assemble this big file and use it for different disciplines like surface analysis, tolerance visualization, reflection studies, light design, media production, real-time presentations, obviously virtual reality use cases like review, ergonomic studies, end-user customer experience, HMI visualization, technical visualization, and even perceived quality. So yeah, I think I would just wanted to make clear that there is this approach of creating this one file to serve all the different needs throughout the process, and accompanying the creation process with a visual base that you could take decisions on or have a communication or collaboration based upon.
Great. Thanks, Lucas. Over to you, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Hey, everybody. So yeah, maybe you've heard a bit about Shotgun already. As Phil mentioned, it might be new to a lot of our audience out there. So what I'm going to talk about today is how Shotgun can really help kind of hold your hand between all of the different departments and functions throughout the creative process that you see here. So how Shotgun can really help be that creative pipeline between all of the different tools and departments and functions and everything that's going on in the studio, so that teams can work in a more parallelized format, as Phil mentioned. So as design time decreases, as teams are allowed to work quicker and faster, or forced to work quicker and faster, how do you continue to work efficiently? And we're going to talk today a little bit and give you some examples of how Shotgun can help these types of handoffs and store a lot of the extra information just to make everybody's life easier on a day-to-day basis in the studio.
Great. Thanks, Brandon. So that's what we're going to hear from the three of us today. And when we talk about this continuous pipeline, we're going to use a number of kind of stages, and we simplified it a bit for this presentation. We're going to look at how we can use the tools in this filing context. How do we make decisions, informed decisions? How do we visualize? How do we work with the clay? How do we manage data? How does Shotgun manage and interact with clay data? From a Class A perspective, what are we doing for design reviews and selection? Engineering, how can we go into engineering? And of course, beyond engineering, from a production perspective, whether it be marketing or configurators, as Lucas says, if we've created the data, we can actually create once and use many times, right the way through into PQ and other areas. And so we'll have a few examples of how we can do that, and of course how we tie it all together through this creative management tool of Shotgun and with our modeling and visualization pipelines. So first of all, we'll look at styling and the tools that we know most, and really over to Brandon to talk about Shotgun and how we can organize your project.
So starting right off in the styling phase, the first thing you really want to do is figure out what it is you're going to build, right? When you start a design project, you don't just start building anything. There's lots of inputs that come into the project to determine what you're going to build, between marketing details or market research, but you're always coming in with a plan. And this is where Shotgun can help, because you can figure out who is going to build what, when they're going to build it for, what they're going to build. And all of these components are now easily set into components that you can deliver work against, review work against, and it's all organized in one simple and visual system. All right, next slide.
I think that's me. So apologies for that. I thought I'd talk videos.
No worries.
Down to my lack of PowerPoint skills. So as Brandon said, once we begin to organize a project and use Shotgun to drive the project and to dip in and out of managing the project, we then get into the modeling phase. And of course, this is the tool that a lot of us use, which is Alias, which we know very well. And this allows us to have this single modeling pipeline, which, whether it be doing creative VR, modeling in 3D space, or fast form finding with subdivision, right the way through to to what we know our bread and butter, square, bi-rail surfacing tools, working collaboratively with the team, so we can have all our team members working together, but also now new features in Alias, so we can begin to have the beginning of parametrics or curve and surface replace workflows, so we can begin to actually build geometry once and replace it and rebuild it hundreds, if not thousands of times. And then, of course, our scanning tools, so we can begin to actually work on the scan data moving forward, as well as everyday surfacing tools that we use. We're beginning to automate difficult and procedural tasks. So we have computational design baked into Alias, Dynamo being an example of that. So we can actually control quite sophisticated changes in geometry from a simple slider. We can control the number of spokes, we can control the rads or the angles, and we can actually begin to automate these quite complicated and tedious tasks, so we can make better decisions, or we can make decisions better and quicker. And it's really the beginning of understanding and capturing, reusing design language. Once we've obviously finished the Alias model, we're ready to hand it off to VRED. But of course, as Brandon will explain, we go via Shotgun.
So as I said, I'm just going to show you in a second what that looks like. So a really quick example, when you're using the Shotgun integrations, and this works in all of our integrated products, but I'm showing Alias as an example. Here, we're just using the Alias drawing tools, so the paint tools. I can draw over a part of the vehicle, or part of the surface, let's say I want to make a note on, and I can use the Shotgun panel, which the Shotgun panel is like a heads-up display about the project that you're working on in Shotgun, that you can see right in Alias. I can click on the little camera icon. I can put a text, write in a note, and I can capture this. And so this note is now being stored in the Shotgun database, in the Shotgun application. That note can be assigned to a user to specifically follow up to for the next review. This note now can act as a checklist too for that user. So you're never walking away from a review going, okay, did I write down all the notes that I had? Instead, you don't have to write down the notes. You can just add them digitally. They're going to be tracked. You can go through and check them off when they're done by changing the status to complete. And now you've addressed all the notes for the next review. You're prepared, you're ready, and you also have a history of all the decisions that were made, all the notes that were taken in that review. So pretty simple, but super powerful in the long term in all of your ways of reviewing. So as I said, you could do this in a VRED session too. If you have VRED open and we're doing an interactive review in any form, you could do that with Shotgun as well.
So a pretty neat way of managing and not losing any data and keeping track of all your changes and notes. That's pretty cool. Thanks for that, Brandon. And then of course we get on to VRED. We've actually, I just paused for a second, Lucas. We've actually done, the Alias work. We've got it into Shotgun. We're checking it. We're working with Shotgun, manage it, design reviews. We really want to actually do the theme selection and over to VRED and Lucas.
Yeah. So if we get the data handed over, let's say we are at a stage where the team decided, okay, let's put that up for a review to decide which theme to go with, or whether that, we're fine to go with a certain route. Obviously, it's about quickly getting data to a realistic state, but also preserving and presenting the design intent and the emotional intent, which is very important at the beginning, especially of a car design process. So that's something where you can use VRED. It's very easy to do that, to convert the data. You can choose the way to present as well. So you could do that on a Powerwall, but you could also, as you see it here, do it in a remote VR collaboration session, for example. If all the stakeholders, let's say, are fine with, or if you think it's the appropriate output format, then you can choose it freely for the purpose. And obviously this supports the selection process, and also like you can you feel more comfortable to make a decision because you reach that, let's say, lifelike realistic state quite easily, quite quickly, and define the route to pursue for your vehicle design early in the process already. And next slide.
Yeah.
Already mentioned it quickly or briefly, a global VR design review. Bringing a car to market is a collaborative effort, right? So collaborating is a core competency we build into VRED, like rendering or like data preparation. It's like collaborating, like exchanging information and working together. So here you can see ways of collaborating in virtual reality, but it's not just limited to virtual reality. You can literally use any desktop Powerwall cluster to join a mobile device, to join a collaborative session globally. As Phil already mentioned in the beginning, it doesn't matter where you are on the planet, and it doesn't matter which device you have. You can join the session and communicate, interact. I don't want to go too much into detail here because we talked about that 2 weeks ago, I think, the collaborative aspect of our products. And even better, one of our customers, Ford, did a car design news webinar a month ago or 1.5 months ago about exactly this topic. So I would just encourage you to get the first-hand experience of one of our customers by reviewing the car design news webinar from Ford about the design collaborative design review in virtual reality. Cool.
Great, thanks, Lucas. And I always have a smile on my face when I see those videos. And Lucas and I were, well, Lucas showed me a video last week of one of our customers using that review, but they'd customized the avatars into something else, which is really quite funny. I can't talk about it, but it was really, really good to see it. For those of you who don't know, you can change the avatars. You can put different avatars in there if you don't want to. Although Barry Kimball might be a bit miffed because he modeled those in Alias. But anyway, so I digress. So we've seen how at the styling stage we can, we work with Alias, and we can work with VRED, and we can work with Shotgun to, to do design reviews, to check, to manage, and to do those components. But these are also, applicable in the clay phase. We can actually begin to continue to use those processes such as Shotgun in our clay world.
Yeah, so we have some customer examples that are actually using this right now, and they found Shotgun actually extremely beneficial to clay, where as they've brought TVs or big screens in around the clay studio, so they can have the latest snapshots and images of designs and models that are being created, always up to date. They don't have to go in and find it. It's visual and it's there. My quick example I have here to show you in a video, which is really, you can now also have clay users being able to sign into Shotgun. You can give them a very simplified kind of home page that they land on. And for this example, maybe we only show them models that are ready for clay to be milled, for example. So a model could have a certain status, it's approved, ready to be milled, and you know that somebody signed off on that specifically. So you're milling the right model at the right time. Once that is done, the video is restarting. I can talk specifically to it. Sorry, it was restarting, Phil. It was fine.
Oh, sorry, my fault.
No worries. Yeah, the process about this is that you can have a nice simple page, give the team only the information they need, really streamlined, and then once they get the information they want, they can get it out of Shotgun whatever way. Shotgun isn't storing your information or your data inside of it. It's just linking to it, so you have access to all of your data already. But what we can do here is we scan that data back in. Maybe we've added some digital pictures too with the camera, SLR. We can again just drag and drop those into the Shotgun publishing tools. We can connect those to the clay task itself. We can publish them into the system. So now we have the scan that's being tracked by Shotgun as well. And the CAS modeler can take that scan. They can access it via the Shotgun loading tools. They can really easily find that, find the latest scan data, load it into their scene really easily, and start rebuilding the surfaces against that. So again, this is really just about easing that handoff and holding the hand of the user throughout this process, and it's exchanging data between multiple users and multiple departments that sometimes aren't always on the same page or need to communicate more to get that work done. Shotgun makes it a lot easier for them to do that.
that links into what we're doing with the Alias tools, of course, where we're looking to actually really get the scan to surface to machining almost in a one-button approach. So we can actually just press send to power mill with a one-button approach, or automatic surfacing tools that we have in Alias, to begin to really speed up that process and really rebuild the model very quickly from even small, subtle, localized design changes. So we don't have to worry about CNCing the whole lot again. We can just localize certain areas. We can focus on the areas. Something that we showed a few weeks ago, and we sort of showed last year, was what we've done with Colb to automatically apply the clay from the scan arm. So a localized area, squirt clay on, mill it off, and we get the change of the shape and the design moving forward. And this really gives us many benefits, or give customers many benefits. But critically, this allows us to really save time, and we can use that time to spend more time designing, to be more creative, or to be, to get better production quality. And I think that's the key here. These tools are enablers, whether it be the automation of computational design, or the master model concept, or the creative pipeline. These are enablers to free up more time to allow us to design, to allow us to get the products that we want to give to our customers, that we think our customers deserve, but also allow us to be more creative. And I think that's really the most exciting outcome of the time that we're in at the moment. Also, we're seeing it with customers that we're working with currently, where they're just being more creative at the moment, because these tools are just assisting them. And that's the take-home message, really, that I want to say. These are just enablers to allow you as users to be more creative with the tools, and to get better designs done faster and quicker.
Some interesting comments and ideas there. I hope you will agree. Some great ideas from customers, and of course from our own team, how we can work better in these strange times, but also really see what the future of digital design is going to look like. Exciting times indeed. We hope you enjoyed watching them. We certainly enjoyed sharing them with you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event and catch up soon.
I too would like to add my thanks for your time today. I really hope you've enjoyed our session. Please feel free to stop by our e-booth if you'd like to hear more, or get in touch with us. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for the Autodesk team to taking us through that very quick dive into the three Alias, VRED, and Shotgun. I think collaboration is key here, and saving time, speed, and thus saving money is a benefit to all of us in these difficult times. Now we're going to take a break. In 10 minutes, we're going to be back covering the Land Rover Defender. So we'll see you back in 10.